Okay, that takes us now to item 5, which is the Shirley, Marshland, New Brighton, North Parade intersection safety improvement. Now this is a Community Board Part A report, and there's only a little bit of that we have to approve, which is the cycleway on the north side of Shirley Road. So welcome, Gemma. Stephen and Lachlan. Lachlan, thank you. Is there anything you want to speak to this? We have had, since the report came to the Community Board, there has been staff-to-staff engagement with Environment Canterbury regarding those concerns with the bus lane. Do you want to speak to that?
Yes, yeah, we can give you an update. So after the Joint Community Board meeting, ECAN, we've been working with and looking at options ranging from technology-based solutions to further infrastructure. We've settled on an approach that Auckland Transport have been working with, and that's boosting the bus through the intersection using the traffic signals. Ours isn't going to be as refined as theirs. We don't have the same software, but we will be installing a camera that when it detects the bus, it will give an extension on the green time on Shirley Road to get that bus through the signals. So ECAN are happy with that. We have a Shirley Road bus priority project in CRAF that can provide further support if needed, if the monitoring shows that the buses are still being delayed through the intersection.
So my question is, with the left turning traffic going from Shirley Road into Marshland Road, will there be a left turn arrow for that?
I would ask Lachlan to talk about signal facing.
With the bus being there and the cycle lane in front, the left turn will have to run just at the same time as the Shirley Road and New Brighton Road phase runs. So the only arrow that, well, the use of that arrow would be for pedestrian protection.
Would be what? For the...
Yeah. If I could just go back on that a bit. If there's a left turner in front of the bus, the arrow can come up to clear that left turner out of the way of the bus as well.
So if there's a car turning left in front of the bus that's travelling east,
yep,
a left turn arrow will appear. Is that what you're saying?
Come up. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Oh, that's good.
Yep.
Will that left turn arrow appear when the right turn arrow is on at Marshland, right turning into Shirley Road? With
the bus and cycle facility being there, unfortunately that can't occur.
Okay. And is there an agreement to monitor this?
Yes, yes, that was one of the conditions with ECAN, is that we will monitor it post-implementation, and if further changes need to be made, we have the Shirley Road Bus Priority Project in CRAF that can look to provide those additional measures if needed.
Right, and so have we got that in the resolution?
We have. That's not written into the resolution, but we have got that confirmed in an email conversation between us and ECAN. Further to that, we have ECAN staff coming to work within our traffic control room every week as well. So there will be an ECAN staff member in the control room looking at the signals, and if there are any issues, they can direct change to those signals to benefit public transport. So
how long do you think you'd need to monitor it, and then at that point do something to mitigate any issue that arises? Is 6 months or 1 year?
I think a lot of the monitoring would lead to just changes to how they operate the signals. So the way the camera is going to work is it'll be a video detection camera that can actually, with a bit of AI behind the scenes, that can detect a bus separately to any other vehicle on the network. And as it detects a bus, what it will do is it'll extend the green time given to it to actually flush that bus through quicker. So in terms of the monitoring, what we'll be doing is varying how much green time we extend by. Do we extend it? If we're not giving it enough time, we'll just extend it further to try and get that through. And that's only going to occur when there's a bus present. What's the frequency of the buses, Jenna?
So we've got 2 high frequency routes and 2 low frequency routes. So we've got about 12, 14 buses an hour.
Yeah, but there's more to monitor because there's potential for the traffic to back up right down to Warrington Street even in peak time. So I think we should put a noting report, note at the bottom, just to say noting that both council and ECAN staff will be monitoring the changes and will mitigate any issues that arise.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Councillor Kewen?
Yeah, couple of questions. What's the cost to increase the service for the bus here?
That would be a question for ECAN. We don't run the bus contracts.
Oh, okay. But we're paying for the traffic lights and the. I mean, we're creating the flow through for the bus. So that must have a cost. Like,
That's have a cost. We're looking at around $2,000 to $5,000 for the camera. To be $2,000 to $5,000
For the
per
camera.
camera to be installed on site, and then we can work with the signals internally to make sure that we're getting the balance right.
there's no extra cost on any of that. So the whole extension of this bus service is only $2,500.
2 to 5, we're still
2
working
to
because
5.
we haven't done one yet. We're still looking into that, but it's a very low cost option for quite a good benefit for the
Yeah,
buses.
absolutely. That's quite impressive. And then the next question is, what do we then offset that against? What's the growth expected because of the better bus service that we'll get? Do we know what we expect to get growth passenger wise?
We don't. The information
Do we
that's...
set targets for that?
I'm not sure.
Like spend
Well,
5,000.
Councillor Kewen, I'm not
get
sure that's relevant to
more.
the design work on the intersection at the
Should
moment.
be relevant to every decision we make, but
Well, I think you've got a crystal ball there as well.
Through the chair, with this project, ECAN's concern was that we don't make PT transport any worse through this intersection through our proposals. So the camera we're putting in is there to mitigate the impacts of removing that left turn lane.
right.
So we're not making it, by doing this, we're not making it any worse. We're implementing a safety improvement scheme, but maintaining the level of public transport priority through the intersection.
That makes sense. Which brings me to my other question: that ECAN oppose the platforms that we're putting in because that lowers the service to the customers, but we're putting those in.
Our latest correspondence from ECAN is that they no longer object to the proposal, and I think they said they wouldn't seek. Well, they're not here today. They said they wouldn't seek to make a deputation on this matter, so they're happy with it.
So they no longer oppose speed platforms.
This proposal in this location.
Haven't you redesigned them so that they've got a softer exit on the platforms?
Correct. So we learnt some lessons from the Lincoln Barrington Whiteley intersection, and we do have the shorter grade on the up ramp, but the downgrade it pretty much reduces out to nothing, so that you don't get the double bump that you can sometimes feel at Lincoln Barrington Whiteley.
To Councillor Johansson?
Yeah, thanks. I just wasn't clear from the memo around ECAN's position. So ECAN have basically seen the revised plan and have said that they now don't have any concerns and they're comfortable with what's been proposed.
Correct.
I'm just trying to get my head around the left-hand turn. You've got a cycle lane going through that as well. So you've got cars queuing, cyclists queuing, and then 2 high-speed bus frequencies going through there. Is that correct?
They're not high-speed buses.
Sorry,
High frequency.
High frequency.
Well,
buses.
yes.
Cyclists are asked to share that lane with buses and vehicles, yeah.
Yeah, so effectively the cyclist goes in the middle of the lane because that's the safest thing for the cyclist. So if cyclists are going straight ahead, will they not be holding up all the traffic that's turning as well?
That's what I was alluding to earlier. That's part of the reason that the left turn can't run when the right turn from the north runs. It's because there could be cyclists in front there that will go straight through.
So it still seems like I still don't quite understand why you wouldn't just put the buses in the middle lane going through. Are the buses turning left as well, or are they going straight through?
The buses are going straight through with the orbiter turning right into North Parade, so they can come along in their bus lane at peak times when the bus lane's operational, and they can either go from the left lane or the through lane. Then during outside peak times when the bus lane isn't operational and there's parking, they will probably stick within the main lane to go through the intersection. So they do have the choice. to either go from the left lane or to go from the through lane.
And the solution we're looking at will identify buses regardless of which lane they're in, and then extend the phase accordingly.
Is it Councillor Barber?
Yeah, thanks. I'm just a little confused of the behaviour of the buses. So if you're saying that they can come straight out of Shirley Road and then be in the lane to go straight into New Brighton Road, but at the same time they could be in the left lane, which on the diagram shows as only a turning, a left turn arrow. How does that work?
So we install signage like we have along other bus lanes that says left lane, left turn only, except buses and cycles. So it kind of overrides the left turning marking on the road.
Does left turn for cars and straight ahead and left for buses.
Yeah, and the other question I have is if the loss of the slip lane and the function of this intersection is, you know, there's a lot of congestion, etc. What would you propose to do? Because I'm thinking in terms of cars coming down Shirley Road and turning primarily into Marshlands Road. Obviously, we're losing the slip lane. So, you know, what would you most likely do? Should there be considerable congestion all the way down Shirley Road, as the Deputy Mayor mentioned?
So we've modelled it extensively, and ECAN are keen to see that modelling to determine if it's going to adversely impact the bus route. We've also done lots of video surveys of the intersection, and it's not that busy at the moment, and the modelling shows that we're not making it to any degree worse than it already is. So if it gets busier and it gets overly congested in the future, that would happen regardless of the scheme.
Right.
Okay, so, you know, we've been assured that it's very unlikely to happen, and we have to proceed with that, and we've got the noting provision now in the resolution. Can I have someone to move this, Celeste? Councillor Donovan, and seconded by Councillor Coker. Is there any debate on this? Councillor Barber.
Yeah, look, I'm pleased to see that you've consulted with ECAN. I think that's really important. They obviously had some reservations, and I think broadly, yes, the intersection will be a bit safer, but I'm still lamenting the loss of the slip lane. I believe in democracy. It was voted down at community board. I understand that, accept that, but there was considerable opposition to it going. 3 times as many people wanted it to stay as wanted to keep it. You know, when you were asking people to use their judgment when they use a slip lane, just like we do at every uncontrolled intersection. I thought it actually moved the traffic pretty well. I use this intersection almost every day. I could have understood a raised platform there. There was already a zebra crossing. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it is democracy. So, but I won't be supporting it because at the end of the day, our job is to look at these things and to represent the people. And a lot of people weren't happy with this and don't understand these sorts of changes. And sometimes they're not, the reasons are not articulated that well. So, yeah, I won't be supporting it.
Thank you. Councillor Henstock.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm with Councillor Barber on this. I was also at the Joint Community Board meeting where we considered it extensively, and I'm aware of the public's thoughts and views in relation to this. I appreciate that we can't review aspects of the design today, but I think it's really important to note the concerns raised by Councillor Barber and myself in relation to our approach to intersection safety. And we've seen it several times where the assertion is that we're concentrating too heavily on attempting to eliminate the risks entirely, and we're doing so at the expense of the efficiency of our citywide transport network, and in doing so we're creating unnecessary congestion and delays. This is both for the private vehicle users but also our public transport, and I know that we can never eliminate entirely because of the driver behaviour aspect. But my view is that it doesn't actually have to be that way, and I think that there are well-proven ways of mitigating the risk whilst we're still supporting the efficiency of our overall transport network. So, to my mind, like Kelly, I don't think we got the design right, and the issue for me is the removal of that slip lane. I appreciate that there are safety issues with pedestrians, but I've seen the slip lane work efficiently and effectively, improving safety at a number of other intersections across the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Johansson?
Yeah, I mean, I share the concerns. I just can't quite fathom having the high frequency buses go through this intersection with cyclists in front of them, with cars that are turning left. It seems to me that this will actually slow down the public transport, and I just am very concerned about the safety of the design. The other, I mean, I'm sure people that have been through have seen just the fast foods in this area, how busy they are as well. And so when you look at things like queuing space and people coming in and out of that, I just think this design is a recipe for disaster. So yeah, I don't think it will achieve the benefits that we think it will in terms of making it safer. I think there'll be some elements that will, but some of it actually, the design just to me feels wrong. We do need to kind of think, I think, a lot more about those bus priority lanes through here. I don't think the solution that's been proposed will be one that will make much of a difference to the increased congestion that this will lead to.
Thank you. Just reminding councillors that this has already been passed through the community board, and what we heard today was some more background discussions between Environment Canterbury and the City Council around the buses that was raised at that meeting, and that's been resolved. And what we're really approving at council today is the joint cycle the way on the north side of Shirley Road. So if there's no more debate, I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Opposed? Division called.
Division on item 5. Councillor Kewen. Jake's not here. Councillor McDonald. Is he?
Is he?
One moment, please. In the waiting room.
Can we just remind councillors to please let the Secretariat know if you're zooming in?
Yeah, he must be. I'll come back to him. Councillor McDonald.
No.
Councillor Henstock.
No.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Scandrett.
Yes.
Councillor Coker. Councillor Peters. Councillor Barber. Deputy Mayor.
Yes.
Councillor Fields. Councillor Johansson. Councillor Donovan. Councillor Goff.
No.
And Councillor McClellan, are you here?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's a yes from me.
A yes vote? That's 7 yes. 7 against.
So that's, what is that? So the community board's approved it,
It's a tie vote.
but we weren't voting on the intersection, we were just voting on the cycle lane. So we've got the intersection approved, but not.
Intersection goes ahead because it's the
Pardon?
status quo that the board had.
Yes.
That means there's no shared path for the cycles on the north side. Is everyone aware of that? So the rest of the intersection goes ahead, but we're not putting in a shared cycleway to keep the cyclists safe.
That's correct.
That's a perverse outcome in my view, but thank you. All right,